Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here today with a daily coin analysis. Today I'm going to be reviewing Luna, Terra. This is a coin that has gone absolutely insane the last few days and weeks, and I think that there is still more upside to come. So I guess let's just get to it. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert. Do your own research. So this is the price history for Luna, and I'm not really going to get too much into the FA. I think this is a blockchain that deals with stablecoins, but again, I'm really just technical analysis only, and that's more so for this video. So what do we see here for Luna? This coin was truly pretty much born in the bear market. And I say bear market kind of just like as a joke, because this really was just born in basically the altcoin quote unquote consolidation bear market that we saw in 2020. This wasn't launched in 2018 or 2019. Those coins were truly had a lot of downside. But anyways, this coin basically had a long accumulation period during the bear market of 2020 for altcoins, where altcoins basically, many of the decentralized finance coins pulled back heavily, like YFI and Aave and those other coins. This coin basically just consolidated with the USD pair. And you could see basically from September to all the way to late November, this was just an accumulation period. And again, what's accumulation? I mean, accumulation is basically just a ranging consolidation, generally speaking, where price has relatively low volume, relatively low volatility, and it will just basically ping pong between two ranges. Now, there's several different types of accumulation periods, accumulation patterns. The one that we're kind of seeing right here is really just this range formed, and then price just basically ping pongs on both ends of the range. But these types of trades can be very frustrating to take because there is an opportunity cost towards your money, for your money, when you buy a coin like this, just because it can just sit here for a little while and not move. But generally speaking, the longer the consolidation period, the stronger the move after. And this one consolidated for quite some time, you know, from September to November, and then now it's having this massive move. So what did we see here after this accumulation period here? We saw this big run up here, all the way from basically 25 cents to 50 cents, and this one doubled. So this right here was the former swing high, and you can kind of see these areas as resistance. There's generally always going to be some sort of sell liquidity around these parts. So, you know, you can take a pretty high probability short position around these types of areas. But when price dips down a little bit and kind of grinds in this area, it's generally a pretty bullish sign, especially given this time of the year, December. Generally speaking, is a pretty good time for altcoins. So when you see this kind of consolidation here at resistance, it's going to be a bullish move, especially given the fact that we're seeing this kind of bull flag pattern. This kind of consolidation after its run from 25 cents all the way up to 50 cents. And then now we're here at liftoff. So again, it goes from 50 cents to $1. So it's basically doubling in price and then bull flagging over the course of several days. So we're seeing 50 cents all the way to $1, and it's just continuing to move up. When you see something this strong, generally speaking, you're not going to get these massive big pullbacks until the entire market starts to really pull back collectively. What I mean by that is, you know, if Bitcoin really pulls back huge, then you might see this one also pull back after its big run. So here's a better example. You see big run up, and then you might see some sort of support level, like a key fib level, like maybe the 0.5 or something like that, and then it'll keep going up. But for something like Luna, this really just was really strong. I mean, this basically went up from, you know, $1 all the way up to $8 fairly quickly. And this period right here, this was just basically huge chop. And this was basically from February to December, or I'm sorry, March, where price basically just consolidated. And what happened during this time? This was a overall bullish accumulation period. And you can clearly see what happened here with this range forming. Again, it's not so different than this other range that formed back initially, remember, back in September to November. But this one was after its huge run. So you'll see this type of price action when you look at coins like Theta. Theta often does this type of stuff where it basically just has consolidation, big move, consolidation, big move, and then it'll keep consolidating. And you can basically see this consolidation when the EMAs start to basically catch up to price. This is usually a pretty bullish sign. When you see all of these EMAs start to cross over, this means that price is compressing and that usually, generally speaking, price is ready to move again. So I see a lot of questions too on Twitter of how do you tell the difference between basically a market top and bullish consolidation? It's fairly difficult, but one key indicator I like to use personally is that if you observe the volume down here, you will see that there wasn't a huge amount of sell volume. And usually, generally speaking, at market tops, you'll start to see some sell volume dominate. And you will also see price action that is much more volatile. So let's look at a coin like YFI. Okay, so let's look at YFI just briefly here. I just wanted to really just show you guys what a top basically looks like. I mean, this is a higher time frame chart, but you can basically see at these market tops, you see a lot of volatility, and we'll even scroll, zoom in here. You'll see basically a lot of sell volume here start to dominate. And you'll start to see a lot of sell volume overall, and you'll see these large volatile candle closes at the top. This is usually distribution. And you can look also at Alpha recently. Alpha had a recent market top. Now, if that's the total top, I'm not sure. I think it's actually going to have price action similar to YFI here, to be frank and honest with you. I mean, Alpha had a huge run in the early winter where it had its huge run, and now it basically pulled back. And I think that it's going to have a second run, not so different than this. And you can basically see run, pull back all the way to around 20,000, and then you saw one last exhaustion pump, and then a large downtrend. So basically, what am I trying to say here is that market tops look quite a bit different. Like this type of price action here, you can see like a blow off wick candle right here, and you can see these like lots of volatility where price is just ping-ponging back and forth. And you'll start to notice here, there's lots of sell volume. Whereas if you compare the chart to Luna during its bullish accumulation period, let's go, here we go. You could argue maybe this is the blow off top, but I mean, or like this initial wick here, but given the fact that sell volume isn't hugely dominating, and you're not seeing these crazy wicks in both directions, this to me more looks like bullish accumulation, especially when you start to look at the more recent volume at the end of this, before the breakout. You'll see lots of green volume. So generally speaking, I think that market tops, if this was a market top, you would start to see more of a downtrend happen before this time period. Like distribution usually does not take an entire month long. So when price just kind of hangs around here, it usually means it's going to go up. And as I said before, the longer the overall accumulation period, the stronger the move up. And what we're seeing right now is just another strong move up. I mean, basically price doubled from $8 to $16, and we're just seeing a large run now. So similar to the other run where we saw from basically $1 to $8, when you see price basically running like this, the best entries that you're going to get are just these bull flags. And you can scale down to lower time frame charts basically, but basically any pullback for these types of setups is just a good buy. And there will be a time when this does have a stronger retracement period that could coincide with Bitcoin. It could coincide with just the technicals here. But for now, the trend is just still bullish. And you'll see that any sort of consolidation is just a good opportunity to buy. Now, where am I having my overall price predictions? I mean, it's very hard to say. What you could maybe do here is just do some sort of fib extension. I mean, this isn't great because this is not really a huge pullback, but yeah, this is just like not great. I mean, we could use the last. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're really going to get a huge fib pullback or a fib extension on a coin like this. You'll basically look for volume to start to decrease as this continues up higher and higher, and then you will either see some sort of big wick, like a blow off top similar to this right here, and that will either spell the end of the run for the time being. So you'll see big wick, and then you'll see price start to come back down, or it will mean that price basically starts this another bullish reaccumulation period. To be determined what it's going to look like. But I mean, as of right now, I mean, I can't really tell you where the top is. I would say $20 is a good estimate because it's just a nice psychologically round number. So maybe consider around $20. But until that time, I mean, this is still very bullish. So similar to the overall USD pair, I mean, this one was heavily bearish. So this is an interesting observation too, because the other USD pair basically had an accumulation period all throughout September to November. You can basically see price didn't really move all that much during this consolidation period. On the flip side, with the BTC pair, price went on a huge downtrend. And this is what you saw too with coins like DOT and many others, where price was pretty stabilized in USD, but it just went hugely down in BTC with the BTC pair. And this usually happens when Bitcoin is very strong or very weak. And what we saw basically here was just a massive downtrend. And then we saw an accumulation period right here all throughout December and January. And now basically Luna is going through its massive run. Similar to the USD pair, we saw price consolidate from February to March, and now it is currently moving again. Because Bitcoin looks pretty strong in general, but today was not very eventful, and it was a little bit concerning to see for Bitcoin go down in general. You know, that wasn't really great to see. So if Bitcoin goes down big, then we might see some further retracement for the Luna Luna BTC pair. But for now, it's still just really bullish in general. I mean, this is just still going to keep going higher. Similar to the USD pair, like the best entries are just these pullbacks. Yeah, I mean, as I said, this is just like, it's really bullish. I can't really call a top at all. There's no real psychological numbers for the BTC pair. I would basically look for 20 bucks on the USD pair for for your resistance level. So again, not really any targets for this BTC pair. If I were to view a pullback, I think I would start to view or look for entries. I'm sorry. I think I would view this 20K Satoshis area as like a first line of defense. And if things go really bad, then this 14,000 area will also be very strong. But I don't really expect these levels to get tapped for quite some time until Bitcoin really starts to really dump or pump huge, I guess. You know, this could also get to that point. But But yeah, I mean, it's still very bullish in general. And there's going to be a lot of micro levels too. I mean, you could really just start bid. It depends on the style of trade that you do. You could just start bidding these former swing highs. So this was like a pretty profitable strategy if you just decided to basically just bid every single little swing high from this run, because you'll almost always get filled. Former swing high, breaks up, retest. Swing high here, break up, retest. Break up, retest. You're just basically seeing, you could get like really good entries using this strategy. Now, does that mean it's going to always work? I mean, no, because this will eventually pull back even deeper. But, you know, if you want to take one trade here, you could basically just bid 27 Satoshis right here, and maybe it'll come. So again, it depends on the style of trading that you do. That would be my strategy for right now. If I'm looking for a deeper pullback, I would view kind of like this 21K area as area of support. You can use all sorts of indicators that you want to. I mean, because this flew up so high, you can use EMAs. 21K looks pretty interesting. There's like some support there. And if we're looking at the USD pair, I would probably start to look at the $13 area, and when this starts to pull back heavily, we'll start to get some fibs out. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video on Luna, and best of luck to you guys.